Hey, welcome to the Bellinghome School of Music. I'm Lee Pence. This is Nick Taylor, the owner, manager, and proprietor of Bellinghome Music. And today we're going to bring you another episode of Big Red Guitars. We're going to talk about some of the things and some of the chops that Jimmy Page used with lower notes. And when I talk about lower notes, I'm talking about your lower strings, low E, A, and D. We're going to start this sequence with looking at a pattern from a song called Heartbreaker. And so the background is something I'll play. Nick will pick up on that, and then I'll play the lead line over that so you can see how you can have a sequence of notes, very powerful, from your lower three notes. Anything to add, Nick?
Nah, let's just get down to it.
All right, we're going to go right for it. Here we go. So here's the background. So what I was doing there is bending into the A. And this is something that Page used a lot in a lot of his tunes. A lot of guitar players, when they focus on a line, will use the higher string. Page had a way of using lower strings in a very clever way. This line really gets its power from those low strings when he bends into this A. You're used to hearing G string, B string bent, but this is a completely different animal. There's a bend into a D. Another song from Misty Mountain Hop, Living Loving Maid. Anyway, when you go through the Page catalog, you'll see him use a lot of the lower strings, E, A, D, to make his point. Moving on. Another thing that Page did, a lot of guitar players do, but he really used it to his advantage, was string skipping. This is a tune called, or a portion of a song called the Wonton Song. And I'm going to play the head so you can see what it sounds like. Nick will give us a rhythm. And let's just play it and see what happens. So what's really happening, it's two strikes on the A, on the 6th string, 5th fret, two strikes on the 7th fret, 4th string, A, two strikes again on the lower A, two strikes again on the higher A. Hard to do slow, actually. The point of that actually is string skipping. You'll hear a lot of solos that are solos where the strings are used in concert in a collateral manner. But when you start to break it up with string skipping, takes on a whole meaning, a whole different meaning, and takes on a whole different flavor. That's just playing off the G string to the high E. And jumping up to this high E. The last page idea involves identifying the root of the chord. You've probably all heard Stairway to Heaven. And when you see Page actually play his solo to that song on YouTube, and there are plenty of YouTube videos of Page playing that song, he is always careful to play the same two lines the same, and then after that he may improvise. So I'll start the basic chord pattern that supports the solo. Nick will pick up that chord pattern, and then I'll play those two lines so you can see how Page actually identifies the root of those chords, particularly F, as he plays through the solo. So here we go. Again. And so on. One of the things that Page does very well, again, is identify the root of the chord in that solo. And there's the F. Second line. He could very easily play and never hit that F. But because he outlines the root of that chord, it has a much more melodic, much more consonant sense, even when he's using that root, dominant 7, sharp 5 pattern that you've probably heard in a lot of tunes. The whole point, again, is being able to play inside of a solo and identify the root of the chord that you move to. I mean, chords really are always just a series of chords. Every chord that you play is about to move to another chord, and it's being able to identify that root. For instance, I've got A to a D to an A to an E. And all I'm really doing is just identifying those roots inside the solo, but it just has a much more grounded effect in your playing. So that's about it today for the Jimmy Page sequence of lower notes, string skipping, and following the tonic or the root of the chord that you're playing across. Anything to add, Nick?
Yeah, thanks for coming in today. It was super cool having you as always. And you know, we have several of these episodes. You can check out several other ones. We have at least 3 or 4 now, and we're going to be making more every week. So yeah, thanks again for coming in.
Yeah, and these are actually shown on the first Friday generally of every month.
Yep.
So you can take a look at those. And another thing that we really encourage is viewer comments. You can feel free to text Bellinghome, text Nick, send an email, and make a comment about this. We'd love to hear your comments and address those comments. If there's something that you'd really like to hear or like to have us address, let us know, and we're going to do it. So, until next time, play long, play hard. See you later.
All right.